Welcome back, everyone. We are on Eternal Evolution. We're going to go over a tier list as well as all the gift codes. I'm going to give you every single gift code the game has to offer, and there's a lot of them. We're talking tons of free resources. Before we get into the tier list and I show you those gift codes, we're going to talk about two heroes. One is Artas. You can get him for free if you look down below. Download the game with my code. You'll be able to get him, and if you've been playing the game, you've already got multiple copies of him. I just want to quickly go over that hero and show you how important he is for the game, for progression for the game. A great champion to get you through the game and to also fight boss battles because he has something really unique that I love. One of my current limited banner has Artas as well as RAVENNA, and these are the two champions we're going to talk about. Artas over here, the reason why I love these type of champions is because they do damage not based off of attack. Most champions in any game you see do damage based off of attack. And then we love the ones that do damage based off of defense, HP, and then they get additional, some of them get additional damage based off of speed. Those are the really fun ones. And Artas does additional damage based off of defense. A lot of damage. So he can kind of be like this limited tank, light tank support, along with doing damage to the enemy. So if you look at these abilities, you can see here, we're doing damage off of 640% of his defense to the enemy. And then if we go over to split, we do 3 basic attacks. We get this enhanced attack doing damage, of course, based off of defense. But if you look at the talent effect down here, the talents for all these heroes, they've got a lot of different ones. This one here, Artas drops below 50% HP. His empowered basic attack also gains lifesteal. So he's getting some life back. So we got a guy that's going to mitigate a lot of damage because he's doing damage based off of defense. So we're going to load him up with tons of defense. This guy is really good to help you progress through the game and really good on boss battles. And yes, he looks pretty damn sweet. Let's look at that opening intro here of him. Looks awesome. You should have multiple copies of him. Again, if you use my link to download the game below, you'll get a copy of him as well. It's easier to level up heroes in this game when you have copies. If you don't have multiple copies, which you will get eventually, when you level up your hero up to a certain level, you have to have a multiple copy of it. So it's really good to level up heroes like this. SSS heroes are the strongest in the game, and this is a brand new one that was just added, RAVENNA. She does crazy damage along with damage over time to the enemy, and she looks amazing. You can see here with this attack that we get 10% attack per second for 5 seconds, stacks up to 3 times. She does a lot of damage. You can look at all of her abilities doing a crazy amount of damage, but what I like is on her talent here. There's one talent that looks really interesting to me, and I don't have a chance to play her yet. So if you guys have her, you place tested her, let me know what kind of damage this does. All these talent trees for the heroes are amazing. So you start to unlock all these talents, you really get a feel for what kind of damage or what kind of healing or defense or all those things the hero can do once you start unlocking all these talents. This one says each time one of RAVENNA's allies casts a skill, it doubles RAVENNA's skill damage effect, stacking up to 30 times. Now, I don't know what it means precisely by effect, but it's doubling her skill damage effect, which I assume is going to be a lot of damage, especially since it can stack up to 30 times because your allies are always going to be doing their abilities, right? Casting their skills. So this is going to trigger quite often. So if you guys have her, you've play tested this, let us know down below in the description. So check her out. Try to get her on the banner if you can. She's on the limited banner for me right now. Check yours, see if she's there, and good luck to all of you guys on your summons. To input the gift code, just go to the avatar, the picture right above my head there. Come over to settings and then go to gift codes. I'm going to put the gift codes up in a picture on the screen. So just pause it, take a screenshot, take a picture with your phone, input them all in, and get those resources. Right? A lot of resources to make your account stronger. Let's get over to that tier list. There's one thing I want to apologize about, and that's that I can't get dark mode. I've got dark mode set, but it's all bright in your eyes right now. Sorry about that. This tier list that I have right now is actually from Dan Heilman. He got it from the Discord, which has people that have been working on this for a very long time. So while this is a really good tier list, I want to talk about other champions within the tier list that are going to help you progress in the game. Not to just focus on, hey, I see that there's SSS up at the top. There's other heroes in the game that are great as well to help you get to end game and progress. And then while you're doing all that, while you're playing the game, you can save up and get these SSS and bring them up. That's a big thing about the game. Like I said earlier, you need multiple copies. So while you might have one copy of Luke as an SSS, which is amazing for AoE damage, you might have a whole bunch of copies of Omar, which I love Omar. You get a lot of copies of Omar from playing the game. Omar does AoE damage, plus he does multi-hit, which helps you out on that one boss with shields, helps you out in other areas, having AoE damage and multi-hit. I think Omar is amazing, and I'm glad he's in S tier and not way down here while I'm talking about him, because he's a good unit. He's a really good unit, and you're gonna get multiple copies. So having multiple copies of Omar means you can have him way higher level, where he's gonna be much stronger than having one copy of Luke. I think pretty much people know that if you start playing the game, but if you're new to it, you might not understand that. You might just get Luke and be like, hey, I'm done. Well, you're gonna need multiple copies of Luke, and that's gonna happen. You're gonna have banners, you're gonna save up, you're gonna eventually get there, but you wanna get to in-game first, and that's where all these other heroes that they give you, including Artas, is really gonna help you out. Now, they've got Artas down here in A tier. I don't believe that. This is a PvP plus PvE content list. As far as what I'm thinking is, I want you to be able to get through all the content in the game with the heroes that are provided for you. So you don't have to chase after all these SSS heroes, or at least you can take your time and gradually get them. So somebody like Artas is gonna really help you out going through the campaign. It's gonna really help you on the bosses, being that he's defense plus doing damage. Somebody like Omar, this guy right here, the snake that does the orbs out there, looks amazing, does a lot of damage, great champion to level up, plus you get a lot of copies of him as well. And then Oak over here. Now, I played Oak for a while. Now I'm on the new server, right? The NA10, which I'm starting. I played the game for a while, not played Oak, and I didn't really get many copies of Oak. He is truly amazing. You start out with a lot of her, and she's great. She does that AoE stun. This tank is actually really good in PvP and PvE content. So the game does give you the champions you need to succeed. So just pay attention to that. I want to give a shout out to Dan Heilman for giving us, Dan Heilman put together more than just this tier list that they have here. Want to give a big shout out to Jay Giggs. He's doing the game as well, and Ivy League Gaming. Ivy League Gaming told me about this game a long time ago, and she's got tons of videos about this. So please, if you would, go check out all those people. That's Ivy League Gaming, Jay Giggs, Dan Heilman, which you'll see Dan Heilman's name right here because he's been keeping up with the tier list from the Discord, along with adding a lot of additional information. So I'm gonna hijack this from Dan, his link, but you'll be able to see his link in here. And again, please go check out those great content creators. They are busting out content for this game. So you'll see all the, I'm not gonna go over every single hero. You can see it broken down into crowd control, tanks, debuffs. Even though Crete is amazing, I feel like Crete isn't really, when I played him, the tank, he's like a DPS kind of tank, or maybe I didn't have him leveled up enough and I didn't have his talents unlocked. Again, those talents bring a lot to these heroes, so make sure you're paying attention to those talents and you're unlocking those as you're playing the game. Looking down here, I really wanted Oak. I loved playing her. There aren't a lot of other heroes that I really focus on. Artas, of course, I love playing him as well. I did focus on Artas. I actually focused on this elephant for a little while and then kind of went away from the elephant. And then as far as DPS go, like I said, I loved Omar. I was really enjoying Omar to get through the game, really enjoying this lizard. And then I know this guy has really good damage. Now these guys jump in the back line. They're assassins. So they go in there, they jump in the back line, break through and disrupt and do damage back there. I've used this SSS Summoner, which is a lot of fun, and then these healers. We don't have very many healers in the game. We can get a copy of her, right, for spending a little bit of money, I think, right away. So that's a really good investment to do. Most games have like a really cheap top off, and then you get a hero immediately. Pretty straightforward, but Dan added more information here to show you how to evolve your heroes. And this is where I was talking about evolving heroes, where you need multiple copies of them. So if you want to come over here on the spreadsheet and look at this, where it needs food. Food can be anything as long as it's part of that faction, because there's 3 different factions you can throw in that food. But then once you leveled up enough, you're going to need a multiple copy, and it's showing you right here what you need with the copies of it. Thank you, Dan, for putting this together. Great stuff. And then he's got more information in here. I saw where it talks about best AoE damage here for Luke. Talks about Emma. Crete, again, best tank. Get 1 copy of Luke, Emma, then save rest for double chip events. So a lot of good information here. Bailey Hudson, again, the best champion in the game, right? Goes in the back line, does great single target, does great AoE damage. It's pretty insane. Best take is Crete, as they're saying here, and then you've got all the rest of it broken down. He did say he was working on a calculator for the game, so great. We got a calculator for the game. A lot of great resources. So much that I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this, and again, I'm going to pin it down below. So you guys let me know what you think about Eternal Evolution. I'm having a great time. Again, I started a brand new account. I think I've said this twice already, on NA10. So if you want to join me, I think Jay Giggs is for sure on NA10. So because I saw him streaming went over there and checked him out. Told him I was going to start a new account on NA10. I'm not sure where Dan Halliman and Ivy League Gaming, and I don't know if the Mad Queen is doing stuff on this game or not. She was, so check out the Mad Queen as well. I'll try to leave all their links down below. Guys, join us. My link to download the game is down below as well. Get that free Artas. Come and join us. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't. I will see you all in a video soon.